Hey, what's up people? So after the last video about natural disasters, I wanted to see the amazing wonders of Mother Nature. So I'm your host Angel and I'm bringing you 10 breathtaking spectacles of nature. There is a place in Venezuela that is home to a bizarre, raging storm that almost never stops. The atmospheric phenomenon is known as Relámpago del Catatumbo or Catatumbo lightning. It only occurs at the mouth of the Catatumbo River where it empties into Lake Maracaibo. Nowhere else on planet Earth does lightning strike in such concentration and power, so much so that you can see it from 250 miles away. The storm always starts at the same place and at the same time every day, and it's been going on for more than 300 years. It's unclear why the storm hovers over the same spot, but the people of Venezuela consider it a gift and a national treasure. Salar De Uyuni is the world's largest salt flat, spanning over 4,000 square miles and can be found in southwestern Bolivia. The desert is said to contain an estimate of 10 billion tons of salt. If you think this place looks interesting now, just wait. When it rains over the salt desert, it leaves a thin layer of water covering the flats and making the most amazing reflection you'll ever see. Many of you may have seen this place before on television because for some odd reason, car companies love to make commercials out there. Located in Italy Capri is a natural sea cave where the water is crystalline blue. There are two holes where the sunlight enters. There is the small main entrance to the grotto, and then there is the much larger hole right below the main entrance, which is the main source of light. As the sunlight passes through the water and into the cave, red reflections are filtered out and only blue light enters the cave. Together, the natural sea cave is given this mystic glowing blue color. Off the shores of Varahu Island in the Maldives are millions of tiny blue lights that can make the shore glow and look like a reflection of the stars. These lights are actually bioluminescence produced by the tiny marine life called phytoplankton. The plankton gives off this glow because inside the microorganism, a chemical reaction takes place whenever it comes into contact with oxygen, giving it this neon blue light. Although the lights look magical, it is believed that this is a sort of defense for these marine life forms because if a creature happens to eat the plankton can still glow inside the creature, making the creature a target for predators. So moral of the story, kids, don't eat the glowing stuff, alright? Mammatus Clouds are these sagging-like cloud structures that are pretty neat to look at. For these rare clouds to form, certain conditions must be met. There must be a high concentration of liquid in the air and a cooler middle to upper atmosphere over a very dry lower layer of atmosphere. Because the sinking air is cooler than the air around it, it causes these pouch-like clouds. Many believed it was a sign for tornadoes, but that is only a myth. In Yucatan, Mexico, there is a deep sinkhole named Angelito, where about 100 feet underwater you can find a river. It looks like a river, but it's underwater. The reason behind this phenomenon is because small bodies of water are typically freshwater based, but as you dive deep underwater in Angelito, you'll soon find salt water. The different density levels between salt and fresh water cause them to layer, but in between that is a thin layer of hydrogen sulfate that is heavier than the fresh water and can move independently, giving the illusion of a river current. Lake Natron is located in the United Republic of Tanzania in East Africa, where the water is deadly to most creatures. The lake is rich in minerals, making it highly alkaline, reaching a pH of 9 and 10.5. To give you an example, water is a pH of 7. The temperature of the shallow lake's water can reach up to 140 degrees in Fahrenheit and is salty enough to poison most animals. The crust created by the alkaline salt gives the lake a red or pink or even an orange hue by the microorganisms that live there. Flamingos visit the lake during breeding season, bringing the otherwise empty lake into life. You may recognize the lake as the Petrified Lake, where the famous photos were taken of the petrified animals. One look at these trees and you may assume that they have been painted on, but this is all natural. The tree is commonly known as the rainbow eucalyptus tree. The multicolored streaks on its trunk comes from patches of outer bark that sheds annually at different times, showing the bright green inner bark. Over time, the green inner bark darkens and matures to give a blue, purple, orange, and then a maroon shade of color. Sometimes during very cold weather in Russia, these magical looking lights appear. They are called light pillars and are created when light from the sun, moon, or any artificial light reflects off the surface of a flat piece of ice crystal. It already sounds magical. When the light source is close to the ground, the light pillars appear to be floating in the air, making the city quite magical. The racetrack Playa is a barren lake bed in Death Valley National Park and is home to the infamous sailing stones. Why are these rocks so interesting? Well, if you look at the tracks behind the rocks, it looks like it's been moving on its own, but no one has ever seen them move before. So how do they move? It turns out certain conditions must be met in order for them to move. With the perfect combination of rain and high winds, the stones start sailing. This happens whenever the rain leaves a small puddle behind. It then freezes over at night, and when it's daytime, the thin layer of ice will begin to melt. Once the ice accumulates behind the stone, plus the high wind speed, it generates enough force to get the stone into motion. There is footage out there showing the stones moving, and it only took 10 years to get. Totally worth it. That was the video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. There is actually a new end card format on YouTube that works on all devices, including mobile. So if you want to watch the previous video, just click the link on your screen, or if you want to subscribe, click the channel logo. Let me know if the new end card format works. So until then, people, I'm your host Angel, and I'll be back with more to share.